Hello, BookTube. I thought I'd come to you with a. It's an occasional video I do something like this. I did do a series on this subject a while ago, a year or more ago. It's got to do with my long COVID cognitive ability or disabilities arising from that and brain fog. Now, what's prompted me this morning to do this video was I got a few notifications for a comments on a live that I did yesterday at Sunday Live, or Sunday reading wrap up with Brandy yesterday. So it was after the video had gone up to be viewed. I couldn't find it. Like, I could see something that seemed a little strange, but then I had to dig a little further, and then there is a section in YouTube Studio to look at sort of comments held for review, and there was actually quite a few in there. Not by anybody that I recognized, because I recently found out that about 80% of my views, or people watching my videos and my channel, are new viewers and not necessarily subscribers. So that was a bit strange, but that will probably explain some of this, what I'm going to say. Now, there are like abusive comments, and that's probably why they were held for review. Basically, going on and on about no such thing as long COVID, and using theirs as, oh, I had COVID, but I was perfectly fine. I went to work shortly after and I was perfectly fine. And I hear this at times, and I usually, if I do speak to the person, I usually say, well, yeah, that's great. You were lucky. But it doesn't mean that you've escaped 100%, because that COVID basically is a fuck you up you disease. And it, even though you may not have been hit hard or just mildly with the initial infection of it, doesn't mean that there's been some long-term damage to your body, and that sometimes just shows up later. And others have been hit hard, recovered, and they're fine. I caught it in 2021, basically the end of January, beginning of February 2021, when I was taken to hospital with a suspected heart attack. Now, there's a lot of you, if you're watching this, probably already know the story, but this is for new viewers, as well as I've received emails over the last month, I suppose, asking me questions about this. So I figured with these other comments that I got, I figured I'd just, try to do a quick video, but it may not be quick. So 2021, in the hospital for a suspected heart attack. I catch COVID 19, and I was kept in the hospital for a little while, but then my breathing sort of started settling down, and it was okay. I went home, and it got bad, so I was taken by ambulance to the hospital, and I was put on a ventilator for a very short period of time, and I still had breathing difficulties, and they were always up and down. They still are occasionally, for various reasons. But because of other things that I have, allergy to perfumes and so forth, I have had breathing difficulties. So I wasn't. It wasn't something new, and there were techniques that I had to help me get through these things. This was worse though, because it was continuous for a long time. But anyhow. So I seemed to climb up that hill and get okay. And I sort of stayed there and then sort of down. I had peaks and troughs all the way through, and it's been that way since. And I've got lasting effects. It's affected my thyroid. It's affected my thyroid. I'm on thyroid medication. I now have potentially type 2 diabetes from it. I went through a period where, like, even though it seems like I got lots of hair, I had a lot more hair. And hair was coming out by the handfuls, but that didn't really bother me too much. and just a number of other symptoms. And one of them is the breathing, as you can even see here now. But there's a lot of factors for my breathing, but one of them is long COVID. The other thing is what it's nominally called brain fog. It's cognitive abilities or disabilities that it's causing. See there, I couldn't even say the word properly, cognitive. I know how to pronounce these words, but by the time if I can get it out of my brain into my tongue, at times I cannot pronounce the word. Sometimes I see the word in my head, I can't say the word. Now, one of the comments was an older comment on a previous live that I had where I had said the word at the one moment, and then I wanted to say it again, and I couldn't, and I had to explain because this is a technique that I've learned and others have learned too that have the same thing. You describe it. So I said, "Oh, I was just talking about it. It's the wet stuff that comes down and it's splashing against the windows, and then somebody said rain. Yes, rain. And I couldn't say it. That happens constantly. I know, like other people have said to me that, oh, it's just they do that. They walk into a room and they don't know what they came in for. Yeah, there's that kind of thing, but this is different. This is where there's something wrong. Part of your brain knows the answer. Part of your brain is conflicted with this. And it depends on how tired I am. The other things that affect long COVID has affected me. I no longer sleep in a deep sleep. I have to sleep in sort of relays with short periods of time, and I call it sleep, but I'm still quite awake. I'm aware of my surroundings, so I rest, I doze, and I do that here, and I probably have to do it anywhere from, if it's a really good day, which I haven't had for almost a year, 12 hours of this, but usually it's anywhere from 14 to 20 hours that I need a day in order to function for 3 or 4 hours. Function normally. As soon as I wake up, it takes me a little while to get going, but usually there's a sweet spot there for sometimes an hour or half an hour, 45 minutes, and I can get a few things done, and after that I sort of crash. And then I got to doze for a little while. So I doze, do things, doze, read, and that kind of thing. But all the time, there's this cognitive, it's as if my ability to analyze things, and I know it's dropped from pre-COVID, because I'm reading something or somebody's telling me something, and it's there in my head, on the one side, but then there's almost like as if part of my brain is conflicting with itself and telling the other part something different. And sometimes I will say something, and then as soon as I say it, I go, wait a minute, that's not right. And I know it's not right. And it's difficult to do something like this, videos, because it's invariably going to happen all the time. I don't edit my videos. And especially on lives, I'm going to say stuff that I didn't quite mean to say, or I'm struggling with a concept or a word, a name. It doesn't mean I don't know these things. It's just to get the brain to function, to get the thoughts, the words out. And even now, I'm having difficulty creating the sentences to speak at the moment. Excuse me. And I constantly get sort of, I guess, for lack of a better word, I don't like the term, but it's like people mansplaining in comments of, how do I not know that name or something like that? And it's like, well, if you actually listen to what I said, you know that I know it, but I just can't get that word out. And I know, like, for first-time viewers, that could be a little daunting and off-putting, and I understand that, but I'm forging ahead because it's either that or I just don't do anything. Even reading at times is challenging. It's challenging at times. Um, so yeah, so I just wanted to come on, and 10 minutes later now, I didn't want to make it this long, but just to not basically at those ones that are idiots that are doing this. If all I can say is to those people is, you know, do a little research. Just it doesn't take much to look up on the internet and find articles from places like Scientific American or other journals, or even just anecdotal evidence of long COVID, that it is real and it exists. Despite even what some doctors say that it doesn't. It's just it's a bit of a health crisis that hasn't been labeled yet as a health crisis, sort of worldwide. All I know is what the effects on me, and that's the other thing, that they are quite unique to the person, because there's some people that have uh, like long COVID symptoms that I don't have. But the common thing is that you get some, and it changes on a day. You get troughs, you get peaks of good times and bad times, and it's just a continuous. You don't know what's going to happen from day to day. What is there, and that is off putting. It's um, difficult to manage at times. So all I say is to the new people, this is why, if I say something like that and I can't think of the name, 99% of the time it's going to be because of this. And or a concept that I'm having difficulty articulating. See, I had to think there for that word. I was trying to think of that word for a while. Articulating, and in 5 minutes I might not be able to pronounce that word again or get it out. I'd have to explain what I mean. I did do. If anybody's interested, there is a series that I did, my COVID days and nights. It's in a playlist, and I was doing, almost like in a daily journal type things of how things went every day, and even at times when I was just really bad, I would do the video as well to show the ups and downs for this. And, I got a lot of flack for that as well. People were saying, oh, I'm trying to be a victim and all this kind of thing. And it's like, well, no, shut up. And other people, which were the ones that it was helpful with, because they found it helpful that they were going through similar types of things. And, but they didn't know anybody that was going through that, and they saw me, and that's a small minority, but it's like, well, that's helpful. And then just others to get them to understand, what the situation is. So if you are interested, there is that playlist. I don't really plan on revisiting that on a daily basis, but every so often, with new subscribers or something like this, where I get a bunch of comments or emails querying X, Y, or Z, I'll do a video, because if I get derogatory comments and then emails or comments that are questioning stuff, it usually means that there's something going on, and there's quite a few people that are interested in X, Y, or Z. So anyway, I'll leave it there. 13 minutes now, but all I'll say is long COVID is real. Cognitive, whatever you want to call it, brain fog happens. Thank you, BookTube.